Hey guys, it's Kate on Katie Kate's Homestead, Saturday, January 6th, sitting here by the fire because it is freezing outside. I have already been outside and done my chores. Now I'm back indoors trying to warm up. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do today. I was really inspired to do some more work on my barn and work on the sides of the enclosure, but I honestly think it's just too cold out there today to do that kind of work. So I'm going to be indoors instead. And I thought it might be a good day to just shoot a little story time by the fire. And my content here is really just about my day-to-day and what it is involving to operate a little homestead all by myself. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who's out here doing this has already come to the conclusion that the world is shit. And so I don't feel the need to talk a lot about it. There's a reason why I moved from the city. If life was incredible and sustainable and peaceful and conducive to happiness, I probably wouldn't have left. So there's a reason why many of us are choosing a simpler lifestyle. And it's really a sad commentary on modern life that, you know, people like me would actually end up rejecting all of the luxuries of technology and modern things, you know, to come out to do all this physical work, you know, to have a meaningful life. It really is a sad commentary, and I think it's just a given. Most people watching my videos or videos like mine understand that there's a reason why we have done this. Having said all that, there is a lot going on, a lot of discourse about the state of the world right now. And obviously, I think the world is shit. It's one of the reasons why I came here, to be by myself and carve out this meaningful life in the midst of it. Whether it's economic collapse, civil war, global restructuring, you know, World War III, you know, there's a lot that could contribute to the fall. But again, I don't want to sit around here and discourse about it. There is one channel that I really enjoy, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Appalachia's Homestead with Patera. And Patera is intense, and I like to listen to her. I like her calls to action and her commentary on things. She gets very fired up. She is a Christian, and I laugh to myself because I am not. But if anyone could convert me, it would be Patera, because her videos are enough to make you feel like you're chosen, being out here doing this. You know, that you are one of the chosen ones, which, you know, is a tickly feeling. But again, I'm seeing a lot of redundancy, a lot of homesteaders kind of, you know, taking up the same topic. And I partially think it's because it gets a lot of attention, obviously, because it's dramatic and people like that kind of content. But as for me, I'm just going to keep it not political and just continue to demonstrate, lead by example, and show how I am creating a meaningful life out here for myself. Having said that, something that I've been working on that has been actually really fun, interestingly, is my budget. So when I first came here, I had a lot of startup costs, and I kind of just rolled with it. I knew I was going to spend a lot of money coming out here, and it's been almost 2 years. And not only have I set myself up with everything that I felt I needed and wanted, I've also supported myself and my family for the last 2 years. So that's pretty great. Months ago, I had this kind of looming feeling about my resources and how I was going to sustain this, and when things were gonna be overly depleted, and how was I gonna manage, and how much more time do I have, and I came to the conclusion that I refused to waste this time that am purchasing for myself. I'm worrying about those things. And so I kind of flipped it and just really got into the moment, knowing that, I made it this far, and, the universe has always had my back. Something will pan out, and it's just not worth wasting my life worrying unnecessarily. It just seems silly, and also is incongruent with my stoic philosophy. So I kind of got myself out of that mindset. And as the months went by and I approached the new year, and it seems like, this is a good year to really start getting a handle on what my cost of living is out here, and how I can manage, I actually started to get really excited about it. So I put together a budget, and I started the 1st of January, and I've laid out kind of the first quarter of the year. So 3 months, I have my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, and then my fixed income and my variable income. So some of those numbers still have to be plugged in, but I've kind of plotted out 3 months. And after 3 months, I can see if I'm in the green or the red, and basically how much of my remaining savings I've had to dip into to manage for that 3 months. And it's kind of put me into this no spend challenge attitude, where every day that I cannot spend money is actually a contribution to the outcome at the end of that 3 months. So if I see that I'm going to come out with a $400 surplus, but I also see that a couple of my variable expenses haven't been input, I know that I need that surplus to cover those expenses. So when I think about buying something, I know that it's eating into that, which will impact ultimately the outcome and how much of my savings I have to go into. So I've kind of flipped it into a bit of a game for myself, and I'm actually getting excited about it, especially when I think about the online work that I still have. I've got, basically 6 hours of online work a month right now, which is not a lot, but I make a good wage. So that's helpful. My side hustle with reselling some of my stained glass, and then, just trying to manage and see. So it's made me really optimistic and excited about that side of managing this, which otherwise can be really daunting. I am having a beer because it's after 12 and I have all my chores done already. So when I look at the numbers, I'm actually really optimistic, because I think I'm going to be able to manage this and at least break even and not have to blast through my savings, as long as I'm careful and I start really living this frugal lifestyle that I've worked so hard to achieve, because that's why I'm here. It's so fun. It's freezing in here. I've had the living room fireplace going since I got up this morning, and it's still only 63 Celsius in here. So this is really my main heat source. And yes, if you are a diehard watcher of my videos, I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing yesterday. So the fireplace in the living room doesn't have a draft. It has an automatic draft system that monitors itself. But this old school wood stove has a manual draft on the bottom. So it blasts out a lot more heat than the actual bigger firebox. And this is really what I consider my primary source of heat in the house. So while I do like to get the living room warm usually first, just because that's typically where we hang out, pretty quickly on cold days I'll get this going. So what I do is I'll burn this, I'll get it really, really hot, and then I will just pack it completely full of wood, as much as I can get in there, and I'll just close the draft. And there's a thermostat on the chimney, and it will really slowly burn at about 400 degrees for about 3 hours. And it pumps out so much heat. This rec room will get up to 90 degrees in here, which will push heat out into the other room. The heat will meet the heat from the front fireplace, and then I can usually get it up to about 75 degrees in the front room. But if I don't have this going, it's really, really hard to get the temperature up. Also, because this room gets really cold, so if this isn't lit, a lot of the heat will just get sucked right out through my back patio doors. So anyway, here I am warming up the whole place. So before I post this video, I'm gonna go out and show you a couple things that I did this morning. I actually got really warm working out there. I was boiling by the time I came in, but it is still pretty cool. My fingers were burning. So I'll show you a couple things I did, and then, yeah, that'll be a wrap for today. But, yeah, this was just a video on, I guess, the philosophy of homesteading without it being too doom and gloom or too doomsday prepper-ish. The last thing I'll say on the topic is, I think the majority consensus at this point, or what most people are hoping for in light of all of the critical things happening in the world post-pandemic, and especially economically, people are holding out for a soft landing. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think it could go either way. I suspect even if there is a soft landing to all of this, we're still going to feel the effects in the future. What do you guys think? And how are you mentally and physically preparing for tough times? Because I'm not going to dwell on it, but I definitely think about it. And but again, it's why I'm here. So I'm just leading by example. So, well, that's all for today. I'll show you a couple of updates out there, and then until next time, happy, healthy living. I am Kate from Kate's Homestead, and I'll see you later. Okay, I'm bundled up, and it is cold out. I don't want to go out there, but here goes. Here's the firewood that I brought in today that needs to be put away. I did manage to clean the stall and the enclosure when I came out and fed these guys. Hey guys, cold, hey? The big reason I wanted to come out and shoot this little video was for my chicken coop. And they are calling for our first big snowstorm tonight. You can see the weather's already getting a bit stormy. So today I finally turned on these 2 heat lamps that are in this part of the chicken coop. And honestly, it makes me a little nervous. I don't like having, electrical things running unsupervised, but I think that's just kind of remnants from the fact that I had an electrical fire, so I'm still a bit nervous. But the reality is these lights are perfectly safe. They're hung in a way that they're not touching anything. I cleaned them all off. There's not even any dust on them. And the bulbs are not overly powerful. I think they're 100-watt bulbs, but my chickens have been in here since I turned them on. So yeah, that makes me happy. Just knowing that they can get a little bit of extra warmth under those lamps. I would love to put a heat lamp in here as well for these guys, so maybe that's something that I'll think about doing as I get more comfortable with the setup. All right, bye guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna shut the door. Get ready for snow.